Hi, I'm Shorty, and I'm here again with the complete book of the Zodiac. And today we're reading about Venus in Aquarius. You and nature. In some households, the cats and dogs never fight. They eat from the same bowl and snuggle in the same basket. In some countries, there's hardly enough annual rainfall to fill a teacup, but by ingenious methods of irrigation or sea reclamation, life is supported. There are some birds that can't fly, yet some fish that can, and in some jungles, tiny carnivorous beasts live alongside enormous vegetarian elephants. To you, with Venus in Aquarius, it's the anomalies, eccentricities, and downright oddities of nature which appeal most of all. When someone tells you a thing cannot be done, your question is, why not? If the reply is, there's no precedent, you'll find one, or better still, establish one. Little amuses you more than the chance to challenge convention, tradition, or even nature itself. And if you see the patterns within creation as frameworks to build on rather than boundaries never to cross, you see the structures within human relationships as starting points, not finishing lines. This is fine, so long as you're loved ones and similarly attracted to the notion of pushing back frontiers. But when they want to remain in more familiar territory, you can feel a little trapped. And when they have the chemistry to argue with your ideas and plans, you can become downright obstreperous. Your tendency to be assertively opinionated is one reason why your world is not as full of love as it might be. Your ability to clam up and refuse to hold a debate you're not sure you can win is another. Yet there are many people who admire you and would like it to get close to you. To surround yourself with love, all you really need to do is be more appreciative of the possible and less interested in always pursuing the impossible. You and creativity. You like to be at the cutting edge of fashion, thought, art, and/or technology. You want to feel you're doing today what the rest of the world will be doing in 5 years. Usually 5 years later, once you've defended yourself against the doubters and experienced the stress of being a guinea pig, it turns out this is precisely what you were doing. But by then, you're busy being innovative in some other field. Being innovative, mind you, doesn't always mean being futuristic. Your sensitive, creative antennae are often among the first to pick up the imminent revival of some old trend. It does mean, though, that if you're ever going to turn your best ideas into money, you're going to need the courage of your convictions and enough enthusiasm to convince others to take the risk. Those who don't understand you may question your need to lead such an eccentric lifestyle, to communicate with so many odd characters, or to spend your money on such unconventional items. But as Venus in Aquarius gives you an impressive ability to communicate cleverly when you want to, you can normally bring others around to accepting, if not quite believing, your unique point of view. You and romance. Venus in Aquarius makes you about as perverse a person as it is possible to be. Please don't misunderstand. I'm casting no apparitions here on your nocturnal preferences. It is quite possible, though not, I concede, usual, for people with your Venus sign to have perfectly unremarkable love lives. But regardless of what you may or may not be up to in areas beyond the scope of this family publication, you're certainly unconventional in your choice of friends and partners. You like to be surrounded by oddballs, eccentrics, innovators, and outcasts. It's almost as if you get a real sense of satisfaction when you hear a staid acquaintance saying, "Honestly, I can't understand what you see in so-and-so." Then a part of you knows you've made the right choice, and you will do all you can to cement the relationship. All you can often has to be quite a lot, for if there's one thing you like more than a peculiar person, it's an elusive and unattainable companion. When it comes to love, it seems you'd far rather have half a dove hovering precariously just above the bush than any number of fine feathered friends in your hand. You have a similar attitude of creativity. You don't feel you want to be good at what you do. You feel you want to be doing something that nobody else would ever dream of doing. One of your favorite tricks is to abandon a promising project just when it's starting to take off, because you'd like to take a stab at something that's even harder to make success of. Happily, you are talented and charming enough to do well in life and love, despite the tendency to be your own worst enemy. The way you manifest your femininity. Your highly principled, confident character, but also quite a little contrary. For example, while you're very sure of who you actually are, you get a kick out of pretending to be who you aren't. Venus in Aquarius gives you the natural acting talent. You can, if it suits you, for example, manifest the kind of come-hither look that would melt away any red-blooded partner. Yet you can play the part of a sober and scrupulous business person with equal conviction. Those who accuse you of blowing hot and cold tend to be the types who like lukewarm life. You simply have very specific tastes in art, in music, in environment, and in a partner. You're either moved to the core or deeply ambivalent. Your eyes light up or glaze over accordingly, unless, and this is what causes the confusion, you can see some fun to be had in feigning enthusiasm. The potential partners who see you as deeply vibrant and sexy, and there are to be many of these, are not your ideal mates. It's the few who see beyond the facade and understand what you are really up to, who fire your genuine passion. Your ideal mate. It's not especially easy to define an ideal partner, for what you appreciate most in a partner is their ability to surprise you. How can you ever be surprised if you know exactly what you're expecting? It's for this reason that you often find yourself drawn to rather crazy mixed-up types or to potential partners with something of a reputation for being difficult. You like the interesting challenge of a partner you can never quite be sure of. They need to have either some very erratic, even inconsistent behavior patterns, or some deep, mysterious secret in their past, or both. You think you want to understand them, and you certainly go to some impressive lengths to try. But ultimately, you want to be hypnotized by their strong personality, and even slightly in awe of it. Your relationships often appear to the outside observer a little volatile. It looks as if you're at loggerheads with your loved one, but in fact you thrive on a little creative tension, and so too most definitely does the siren of your secret dreams. Alright, so that's all I have for all of you with Venus in Aquarius. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you taking time to watch it. And I do want you all to know that I love you.